this. You prevent things like this because right now, the great powers that have been exploiting us, the imperialists, they use that in a very advanced manner to keep on dividing us, to make it look like it's a Tutsi and a Hutu thing. But it's greater than that, because if that whole region of Goma did not have strategic minerals that run the whole world, that run the fourth industrial revolution, we wouldn't be having what we're having today.
So the war now is about minerals.
It's definitely about minerals, but they will make it intelligently look as if it's a Tutsi Hutu rebel, like which on one side of the coin it is, but that is not fundamentally what it is. What it is fundamentally, it's about the minerals, right? Because now you can see in China, the biggest trading partner of the whole of Africa, it's now China. And Russia is making inroads. So who's feeling the heat here?
The USA.
The USA is feeling the heat,
Europe.
Right? So when they come, because they are devilishly intelligent, they will not come and say, no, we're taking over like old school colonialism. It doesn't work that way. They will try and amplify your egos about being Zulu, about being Shona, about being Chewa, about being Kikuyu. They'll amplify that, and they do it in a very refined way. And because that's what intelligence and counterintelligence and all those things, that's what it is all about. And they flate up. And also what they do with our leaders, as you and I'm saying this to all young men who are climbing up, as you join politics and you become active and all that, be very careful of the things that you do, because they gather information, especially in this electronic media. They gather as much information about you. Some of our leaders are very, very compromised. I'm sure you saw one of the Ghanaian leaders ratting out to Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State of the United States of America, telling him the troops of Ibrahim Traore, they are making moves around the borders and all that. Do you understand? Right? So you get African leaders when they are coming to power, especially when they're coming to power, they will tell you things you want to hear. They'll speak Pan-Africanism, like one of the Kenyan leaders, he spoke Pan-Africanism and say, we're about this, we have to do this. Same with the Ghanaian leader, say that. So you'll find a lot of our African leaders, when they come in, they will tell us what we want to hear. Midstream, immediately they change, because certain people have them by the BALLS. And they are highly, highly compromised. So part of the contestation of how we want to bring about this free Africa is the youth and everybody else must put maximum pressure on colonizers, must put maximum pressure on Africans who are compromised, and of African sellout puppet leadership. They are not going to do it alone. Everybody, what you are doing, what everybody's doing, we must not give these leaders a breathing space. So what is happening here is because Goma is very strategic. Even from the time of Patrice Lumumba, they wanted to divide the DRC into many parts. It's not something new. It's an ongoing thing. And they are going to come up with more strategies to bring about division. I mean, you can even hear in South Africa sentiments of Orania, sentiments of Western Cape must secede. Those are warnings. They're not joking.
And, you know, when I look at this, actually you're giving me now a greater perspective, because when you're speaking about Orania, I'm thinking all of these wars, when you look at Ukraine, what was happening in Ukraine, that was a proxy war. It wasn't necessarily between Ukraine and Russia. You know, as much as you know, it was used as a battleground. You go to Israel, what happened in Palestine, right? Then you look at the countries that are at play there.
Right. Yeah.
You realize that actually the land where the war is being fought at,
absolutely,
it has nothing to do with, of course it has everything to do because they're targeting those people, but at the same time it's people like you were saying, they're trying to access the minerals. You know, then they're going to make it a tribal thing, that, you know, we're supporting this tribe, the other one will support this tribe.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, we know that the superpowers